Welcome back to another show and tell video. Today we're looking at a aim correction device for training new recruits. And I believe this is East German of origin and is called the ZGK-71. And I'll try not to mispronounce it. Zielübungen Gerät Korrektur. So a aim training device for correction. And there's numerous components here. The main visual optical one is a kind of a one-sided mirror, which helps a observer who is at the recruit's side to be able to see through the mirrored image through this plate here what the recruit is looking at and help them guide them in correcting their aim. What we have here are some other visual aids. Here we can see a kind of a uh, target, torso and head target, various aperture sizes, which I'm not sure how would actually apply. We'll try to work through that together. And if anybody has any more specific information, please feel free to comment. I'm sure everybody would like to know. And here we have various aperture examples on another plate, which has, if I turn it to the side, two types of small targeting images. So here you can see a torso and head image, much smaller than this one. Possibly you could use it for possibly helping to align against that. We'll get to that later. And here we actually have kind of a bright dot, well, not so bright, against a contrast type of a background there. You can see it's actually backed by a paper disc and with a small perforation there to show that paper material through the darker surface there. Then over here, we have a bunch of plates that I believe are not meant to be taken off of here. And you can actually configure these into various common iron sight configurations. So here would be your typical traditional kind of the, I guess, barley corn rear sight type of view. And here you can actually give an example of how you would properly align rear sight, this part being there, against your front sight here, and get the proper sight alignment that you want to teach. Likewise, if you rotate all of that onto the torso, this will give you an idea on giving direction on properly alignment, as well as sight placement. Say if you want to adjust for windage, you can actually slide this left to right, and this can go up and down for elevation, distance adjustments as well, and how to properly visualize that. Not only do you have these angle type style, you have more of the kind of a trench style sight, which typically might still use a barley corn like such. I won't bother flipping around to the other side, you get the idea. Or possibly more of a kind of a blade sight as opposed to the barley corn style. So I'll try to align this a little bit better. And here you can actually see this one has a kind of a sight hood around the front sight as well. And this will give you an idea of how you would align your rear sight within the image generated by your front sight hood. So you have a few different reference points to help you align up against your target. So let's actually flip that around and see if it helps here. So here you would visualize your rear sight against the height of your target there, and then visually you would align your front sight to be on target as well. The larger one here, this I'm not really sure how this plays in. I mean, maybe there's some sight configurations that use this method as well, of a type of ghost ring and then front sight as well. So you might actually have something like that, this being your rear sight and this being your front sight image. And then you would align accordingly. Now, whether or not this is used from an instructor's perspective, and let's say I'm going to grab an item here. I was originally going to use this one, but this is, for example, an M44 carbine with the bayonet attachment, and I'm not going to use this because this is a little bit unwieldy to show with the bayonet on here. I do have an older model carbine. This is an M38, I believe, Russian pattern, and we'll see how we can actually get this onto the receiver. So you can see here 2 large magnets here, and I believe they would attach something like that onto the receiver. You can see here you can move it a little bit back and forwards, a little bit this way, but it doesn't want to rock back and forth. So it is a pretty good sturdy design that way. If you can see here, you can see my finger wiggling in front of the optic mirror there. You can see its image facing us. So this is kind of what the instructor would see downrange in this direction. Now, whether or not this is used here, possibly to help with some sort of alignment or whatever, or whether or not this is actually used up front to help with a recruit align their rear sight against their front sight. Notice the patterns we use here, kind of interesting. So if we mimic what we have here, we have something similar to this style of rear sight, but it's actually more rectangular. And in this instance, we actually have the kind of a pole sight in a sight hood. So you'll be using something similar to that, but not quite. And basically, with this on here, your recruit stares through here, instructor stares through here, and both see the same image of what's being aimed between your rear sight and your front sight, if that makes any sense. So also, for example, if the recruit were looking downrange and this were kind of within their sight picture, this might actually be something useful that the instructor could hold in front of. Now, this actually, now that I think about it, might have to do possibly with limiting the image seen through here when actually looking downrange at various ranges of target. I'm not 100% sure as to the full usage of these various aperture sizes. So if anybody knows, feel free to shout out in the comments, as well as this one right here. This is the smallest out of all of them. So it's possible that that is used as some sort of aperture as well. So I have more questions than answers, unfortunately. So anybody knows more than I do, which is more than likely, please shout in the comments and help everybody out. One other item I got here, I don't have an East German AK platform. I do have an AKM. Let's see if this fits as well. And it does. So let's see how it mounts there on the top cover. And then here you can see another variation of sight style with these kind of front sight blade protectors there, the pole style sight, and then again kind of the traditional iron cutout sight there. So fits on a variety of platforms that were used in East Germany. So again, just taking a quick look, raising some questions about the ZGK-71 aim corrector. I'm going to try not to mispronounce it again. Zielübungen Gerät Korrektur. So these are out there on the internet, so you might be able to come across some of these. They're not that expensive, and you can try them out and practice as well. This has been another show and tell video. Feel free to check out other show and tell videos on vintage milsurp tools and expanded topics. We also do unboxing videos as well as a selection of book review, media reviews, and a series called Curios for the Curious, videos on more artsy type objects. Feel free to check all those out. Feel free to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you next time.